What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great week. This week in AV265, Aerospace Accident Investigation, we are covering at-sea accidents as well as ditching. Talk about both really briefly. So pretty much an at-sea accident, so a body of water. It's pretty much what it sounds. It's the when a plane crashes into the water. That's pretty much what it is. At-sea accident. This could happen for a number of reasons, a variety of factors. Hijacking is one. A plane may be hijacked and then the hijackers crash into the ocean. Engine malfunction, the engine fails above the water and then you crash into the ocean. Fuel exhaustion, you may run out of fuel and then ocean loss situation awareness, as well as bird strikes. So there's a number of reasons. When an aircraft crashes into the water, it is called ditching, or at least a ditching effort if it's not a direct impact. But pretty much the effort to land the aircraft in the water in one piece and not broken apart, that is called ditching. Now, I'm going to talk about ditching briefly, as well as mention a couple at-sea accidents, and then we'll go into the discussion post. Things like that. Ditching is pretty much, like I said, it's when an aircraft, you ideally land on the water. That way you're still alive and the aircraft's not broken apart. That kind of thing. It's dangerous because the aircraft has a high likelihood of breaking apart depending how you land. And you'll see in one of the videos for this week, a student pilot in, I forget the city. Oh my goodness. They pretty much, I want to say off of the coast of Myrtle Beach. They landed. It was a great water landing. But they're pretty hard because the pros of ditching is one, you're not crashing into the land, so you're not impacting it and breaking apart. The cons is that it's a high likelihood of breaking apart against the waves depending how you land. And then of course, eventually, if you're not rescued, that the aircraft can sink and drown and passengers may not be able to swim. Those are also cons. So of course, it's similar to aircraft fire, and we'll cover that later in the semester. How there's the accident and then there's the fire, so you got to survive both. Same thing with water crashes and ditching. There's the accident and then there's the aircraft floating in the water, not wanting to drown, the cold water temperatures. You try to survive both. Some tough tips really quick. The pilots are not trained on ditching. They're trained on evacuation procedures, so how to evacuate the aircraft if it should land in the water. The FAA requires certain depending on your operation, or for Part 121, it requires certain things on your aircraft, so like life jackets, flotation devices, that sort of thing. I think Airbus actually has a feature in some of their aircraft. It's kind of like a ditching feature. That's not what it's called, but it's pretty much what it does is that it seals off the valves underneath the aircraft. Should you, in the worst case scenario, end up landing in the water, it will seal off the valves. That way, on the other underside of the aircraft, that way it takes longer to flood and sink and stays afloat longer. Ideally, you ditch, you want somebody you stay afloat, people come rescue, U.S. Coast Guard, other personnel, that sort of thing. The NTSB says there's about a dozen ditches, about 12 per year, and it's usually in smaller aircraft, so it doesn't happen too often. Like I said, ideally, if you're gonna crash land, you want to do it on the land, on an empty field or anything like that. But if you don't have any land available, you have to ditch the aircraft in the water. Ideally, you want to do it in one piece. So, a couple aircraft references, and there's a list in the discussion post. But a couple of notable aircraft ditchings or water landings. World Airways Flight 30. It was a DC-10. It landed on the runway in Boston Airport. It landed on the runway and then skidded. It kind of overshot the runway. It didn't land at its target point. Overshot it. And then it skidded across the taxiway in the field and pretty much ended up crashing into the Boston Harbor. So it was they had to ditch that aircraft. Another flight. This was in 1952. Pan Am. Flight 526 Alpha. It was a DC-4 smaller aircraft. They took off from San Juan in Puerto Rico, and one of their engine 3 failed. Their engine 4 failed. This was like maybe 7 minutes into the flight. They were still, I think, departing, and then they had to ditch in the water, and the aircraft broke apart, and a majority of people died. So those are two examples. There's a bunch out there. The notable one in the Hudson. You guys have heard about it, where Captain Sully landed after a bird strike on the Hudson, and they were successfully able to ditch that aircraft. There's a bunch out there, and you're going to look into some. This week, we have a quiz. Yes, there's a quiz coming up. Might not be this week, might be next week. But there is a quiz coming up, so that would be an open internet quiz. Some of the stuff we've covered, some of the stuff we haven't covered, but it's open internet, so you could. I have full faith in you. Additionally, this week we're gonna do some extra credit. Yes, who doesn't love extra credit? As you know, the NFL. Well, you may not know, so I'll tell you. NFL season has started. I'm an Eagles fan. I would be wearing my jersey. However, my team is 0-2, so I can't. But if you do your video post and you're wearing a jersey, any jersey, it could be an NFL jersey, a baseball jersey, it could be an Aviation jersey. Shoot, if you're wearing a jersey, you will be able to get 10 points extra credit toward whatever assignment discussion post you like. Just email me or inbox me something saying, hey, I want these 10 points to go toward this. If you don't do that, then I won't put it toward anything, and you'll just be 10 points sitting in limbo until it goes away. So do that if you want. You know, not required. It's extra credit. So just a discussion post with a jersey on it. Don't wear, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan or a Washington football team or Giants fan, don't wear a jersey. You will not get extra credit. So find another team. Yes, that is this week's extra credit assignment. Other fun things happening. As you know, I work at an airport, so allegedly the POTUS is coming to Newport News International Airport for I think a rally in the hangars. So I'm gonna find out more about that. By the time this video goes out, I guess. Well, it's already in the news, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that might be interesting. We'll see. I don't know if I have to be there. It's at night. It's at 8 o'clock. But I'm airport staff, so I don't know. Keep you posted. Fun stuff in the airport world. Hope you're having a great day at Averett. Having a great week. Let's learn about these at-sea accidents. Woo woo. Take care.